you guys on hold, and yeah, I'll come back to you in a second. All right. Yes, I'm getting a lot of error messages at the moment. I've had a few issues this morning with Starlink. Apparently, I'm not getting enough data coming through at the moment, so I apologize if this is lessening your experience this morning. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful service, and it works really, 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 really well. However, it doesn't always work as you would see fit. So yeah, it's not. Sometimes it doesn't actually receive enough data. Like I'm getting a lot of error messages right now. So what I'll do is I'll leave you focused on the pad while I try and sort out some of these errors and issues. Everything was connected and working a minute ago. So yeah, I just need to find out exactly what's going on right now. So just 2 minutes. All right. Look, I cannot resolve this. Everything I've got is. Hang on, I've just thought of something. Just a minute. I'll be back. I'll be back. I apologize. And just like that, apparently the stream is healthy. There we go. Right. If you want to see, there is the Eris rocket sitting there on the pad. Welcome to this morning's early morning live stream. But apologies for the bit of a rough start there. I forgot to click. A couple of different things happened all at once. I started getting error messages when I was attempting to go live. I didn't even realize I hadn't gone live and clicked the go live button. Yes, it was very much a series of unfortunate events. So now we're up and running and we're working, and all the indicators say that everything is healthy and looking good. For those of you, yes, there are two different types of chat happening at the moment. There is mine for, again, now I'm not getting in. Now I'm back to error messages. Anyway, that's all right. I'll just ignore those and just keep on keeping on. So there's two different chats where you can actually ask questions if you wish. Please feel free to do so. I need to set up the other one for launchheaven. There's also one that's available for mine. So just a minute, I'll show you some of the Q&A. Oh, yes, we're 34 minutes away. That was a little while ago that one came up because as far as we're aware, that it's going to be happening at 7:30 this morning. So it should be an on-time launch as far as we're aware. Again, we don't know exactly whether or not it's actually going to go exactly at 7:30, but the indication was that um, it's looking like this is right live, Ron. Just to let you know. Yeah, so I'm getting all sorts of now. I'm getting error messages from everything. So I'm going to have to figure out what's going on here. So give me 2 minutes and I'll come back to you because now I'm getting a whole bunch of error messages and plus I need to set up the other chat. So just give me 2 minutes. All right. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I'm not sure if anyone can hear me. So hopefully my audio strength is coming through. Let's just see. I'm looking at. We're going to be looking at the comments and everything all day. I've had a few problems this morning with the YouTube telling me that the stream is healthy, telling me that there's an error, there's not enough, there's all sorts of stuff. So there's been quite a few problems that I've experienced this morning, unfortunately. So yeah, here's where we are. Yes, we were about at 7:12 a.m. The launch window opens at 7:30 a.m. this morning, so we've got a little bit of time until that actually happens. So please, if you want to ask some questions, please feel free to do so. If anyone else wants to have a look at so launch heaven as well as if got some questions, yes, typing. No, that's not working. Oh, there it is. It works. Oh God, something works finally. All right. So yes, if there are questions that you want to ask while I'm here, please feel free to do so. But yes, let me just say I'm going to do sheer shameless plug now, which is look, this live stream again is being brought to you once more by my main sponsor, which is One Giant Leap Australia Foundation. If it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be sitting here this morning. Actually, I'm crazy because I'm sitting here this morning. I started at 5 a.m. and there was no light, and yeah, I was setting up everything in the dark and by torchlight. So yeah, but the wonderful people at One Giant Leap Australia Foundation, they are amazing people, and they continue to support me to do these live streams. And again, once more, shout out to Launch Heaven. That this is if it wasn't for you guys helping me with the restream this to get to the world, I wouldn't be getting the large audience that I am. So thank you very much to Launch Heaven. Thank you very much, guys, for continuing to support, even though when I did this, it seems like a few hours ago. And just a quick out to everyone, everyone in general. Please, if you're going to be reusing this stream or restreaming from here, please give me all credit to AussieNord, all to my channel, please, because there is some legacy media that here in Australia, especially, that's actually continued to use my footage because they're lazy and too lazy to come out and do it themselves. That's what I'm experiencing at the moment. Is that I actually legacy media, so the traditional media here in Australia has been using my footage. So yeah, look, I'm going to leave you guys with the launch. A little view at the launch pad. I'll come back in round about at 7:20, so about 5 minutes from now. Because I've just remembered that I need to do some stuff. Is there any kangaroos? Oh, hang on, that's a really good question. Launch heaven. Let's have a look. Kangaroos. We don't spell kangaroos like that, but no, a good try though, Shauna. Just to let you know, I did see a kangaroo, and yes, we do have kangaroos in this local area, and that was just on the walk up to Mount Nut this morning. When I was walking up here, I did see one bounce across in the dark in front of me. So, yes, we do get kangaroos here. And it is Australia after all, but this is Bowen, and Bowen is a little bit more isolated than some of our major cities because you won't find a kangaroo in a major city like Brisbane or Sydney or Melbourne or something like that. You won't see one bouncing down the street. But however, yes, you do get wildlife here in Bowen. So there's a lot of wildlife. There's up until a little bit ago. We had a whole plethora of birds that were singing us a very nice morning tune. All right, so I'm going to go leave you guys for a second. You can please focus on the launch pad, and I shall be back as I just need to just correct a couple of things. I won't be too long. All right, we're back again. All right. All right, welcome back to the live stream. So one of the latest updates I've gotten in the background. I'm being updated all the time, continuously in the background. The launch window now looks to be the launch window will open at 7:30. However, they're now targeting an 8 a.m. launch. So we're around about 39 minutes from now. So yeah, just to let you know that's happening. And it seems like the launch window might have changed. So there is a few more. Oh, no, not again. It's cut off. Hang on. All right, back again. So this morning is the morning for errors. So I'm getting a lot of errors for all over the place. And I'm just going to answer some questions now. So have we confirmed prop load? No. As you can see on the stream there, you can see the rocket perfectly in frame. That no, there's been no prop load just yet. So thanks very much for Parallax Space from Launchheaven on their chat. Thank you very much for asking that. Rippity, Australia is basically the same size as America, just mostly desolate desert. It just needs more people. Not enough people doing it. Okay. Yeah, it is the size of America. It's slightly bigger, but anyway, well, let's not talk about that. And yes, our population is actually mostly on the outer rim, on the outer edges, so where it's actually closest to the coasts and all that sort of stuff. So, and yeah, we don't go into the middle of the desert because our desert wants to kill us. Unlike you guys, you just want to go into the desert and turn it into casinos. I don't understand that, but that's okay. So yeah, each to their own. But just letting you know that yeah, in the middle of Australia, yeah, our desert has been historically known to kill vast majority of people who go into it. So we don't go into it. We just live on the outer edge where it rains occasionally. So yeah, that's basically how the population works here in Australia, I believe. But you know, I could be wrong. So I'm not making fun of anybody or anything like that. I'm just yeah, I'm being a pain in the butt. All right. So yes. All right. Audio audio reverb. Okay, I'm getting all sorts of complaints now that I'm getting reverb and all that sort of stuff. People couldn't hear me yesterday. So yes. Uh, I can confirm all American deserts have casinos. Java Aerospace. Yeah, sorry, I haven't put that one on screen. That's pretty funny. Hang on, sorry. That's worthy. That's worthy. Sorry, this is what I'm giggling at in the background. By the way, just to let everyone know, I've been here since 5 a.m. So yeah, it was still dark, and I was setting up my torchlight. So if I seem a little bit out of my head, yeah, I am. I guess it's been a long morning. It was a long day yesterday, and it's been a long morning already, and it's not even time yet. So all right, let's have a look. I'll swap over to the other Q&A. Let's have a look. The Q&A on the Aussie Naut stream. All right, mate, what do you guys do for breakfast? Me? I ate a granola bar. It's not the most interesting thing. It was on. I don't normally eat granola bars. It was on special. So in other words, it was discounted, and I just went, yeah, I'll have one of those. I got a box of them the first time around in Bowen, and I'm still going through the box because they're not my favorite. But you know, I don't like I don't like wasting food. So they're dry and they're not great, but I eat them anyway because I don't like wasting food. Yeah, there's something wrong with me. But anyway, that's all right. I'm pretty sure the question wasn't asked of me, but there you go. Now you know what I had for breakfast. Oh, anyway, all right. I'll just better try and be a little bit more sensible. There are a few more people here now. There's at least 20 odd people here now, ready to watch the rocket launch. If it actually happens, none of us have seen prop load or anything like that as yet. But however, if they already loaded the prop from yesterday, then you know it might already be on board, and it may just be that the rocket will go with almost no warning. Again, if you venting, someone saw venting. And if you saw venting, your Zoom is better than mine. I can't see any venting just yet, but that's okay. Doesn't mean anything. Oh, hang on. You might be right. I saw something come out of yeah, I've got prop load. The rocket is active. Okay, it's official. The rocket is active. All right, we've got a proper fuel load there. Yes, whoever has the whoever has the who has that was saying that they could see venting. Yeah, you're right. Good catch. I'm not sure how long it is until they actually go. If that's already loading and they're reloading, yeah, I'm seeing venting as well. Hang on, I'm just going to ask my companions here. Hang on just a second. Okay, and the local cops are here. All right, the police are back, and apparently that's a vote of confidence. There you go. Something might be about to happen. It'll either happen in 2 minutes or it'll happen at 8 o'clock. There's one of the two things. I'm just going to leave you guys with the launch, and I'm just going to stand up and control the camera, just because we might be at that point where we're going to be we're going to be yeah. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, this is weird. All right. So yes, I'm going to be. Let's have a look. Yep, there's something happening on the side. I'm just going to go back and I'm just going to control the camera just in case this thing decides to go in 2 minutes' time. Just a second. Yeah, I'm just going to address some stuff that has been raised in the chat about NASA spaceflight being here in Australia. No, it's not. And I am, and I'm here. So, yeah, if it wasn't for me, then you wouldn't have a live stream to look at all. So, I'm the only one here who's actually doing this live stream. So, yeah, I know you've got your favorites. However, yeah, NASA spaceflight is not here, and I have been approached by a couple of American organizations. So, yeah, and if I've got sponsors for this, I've got everything for this. So, yeah, you guys need to understand that I know you got your favorites and you prefer them, but they're not here. I am. All right, so we've still got prop load going on at the moment. And by the way, I wasn't being aggressive. I was just being firm. But anyway, that's all right. Apparently, there's no difference between me being aggressive and being firm. But anyway, that's all right. All right. So we've still got prop load going. The local police have shown up, so that's always a good sign that something might be happening in the next half an hour or so. Nothing happened at the 7:30 mark, so that's okay. That's T0, so that's okay. All right. So the sun is hitting that beautifully, highlighting the rocket. Because if I look at it with my general eye just across here, because I'm now standing up, yeah, you can actually see that it's quite dark, except for the highlighted rocket, which is actually kind of cool. Very cool to see. Very, very cool to see. But yeah, all right. Um, Focus is better today. Thank you. All right, that's because I didn't touch it. Someone else did. There's a whole bunch of people up here, and there's my favorite person, Colin, who is a bit of a wind nerd, and yeah, he helped me out, and yeah, he's been helping me out with a lot of stuff. He's very knowledgeable with all this sort of stuff, and yeah, he's actually helped me out a little bit to actually get this a little bit of a better view this morning. So yeah. All right. T0, when Troy Robert, yeah, so 8 a.m. this morning is what the last thing we've heard, because T0 has already passed, which was the initial, what we thought. So anything could happen between now and 8 a.m. So it means something could happen, or nothing could happen, or it could be delayed again, or upper atmospheric winds could be the culprit once more. But apparently it was looking really good earlier. So All right, I'm just going to remind everyone once more that the payload for this particular launch will be a jar of Vegemite. So, yeah, they're going to yeet a jar of Vegemite into space. Again, I said the word yeet. Why am I doing this? What is wrong with me? So yeah, it's simply a jar of Vegemite. So that's the most iconic and Australian thing ever that they're going to is the payload mass simulator that's actually sitting on top of the rocket. So if anything today, one thing will happen is the rocket will launch. If it explodes or the launch fails or anything, then basically the rocket has a lot of sensors on it. What will happen is Gilmour Space will fail fast, fail forward. They'll learn from all of this as well. The other thing is too is if the flight termination system decides to activate itself anywhere on the on the launch, what will happen is the worst case scenario, if it activates, then basically that jar of Vegemite will be spread all over Bowen. Bowen will be Vegemite flavored. I gotta stop. I really do. I'm unhinged. So yeah, so the top export here in Bowen is mangoes, and they are a really delicious mango. I'm not going to say what I said yesterday, but however, a Vegemite tasting mango. At least I think I'm funny. All right, cool. Remember that the Eris rocket is a hybrid. It has 4 Cirrus engines on it. They're all hybrids. They're hybrid rocket engines. So there's a solid, and there is a liquid oxidizer that would actually be powering the first stage. There is one on the second stage, and there is a biprop on the third stage, bipropellant motor on the third stage called. I can't remember what it's called. Phoenix. Phoenix, that's it. Phoenix. So the Phoenix engine on the third stage, which will actually be propelling it to the jar of Vegemite to orbit. All right. Um, so the prop load is still occurring. As far as we're aware, it is the wind is drifting. It's the into the rocket from our angle, which we can see. So that means that the gases that are actually sweeping in behind the rocket, so you can't quite see that the prop load clearly. So yeah, there's a little bit of an issue there. So we believe that prop load is still ongoing, and yeah, we're just waiting for launch. All right. So I've had a lot of people on the chat saying that they can see venting. So the image is much clearer than it was yesterday, which is fantastic news. It's just we're going to be counting down to zero or T0 very, very shortly. So we've got another 20 minutes until that actually happens. You give off big dad energy? Thank you, I think. All right. So yes, this is Aussienaut. I am Aussienaut, and yes, I am bringing this to you. This to you live from Bowen. I'm on top of Mount Nut. So some other people have been saying that I'm about 12.3 kilometers away from the actual launch pad, and yeah, I didn't. I was just a law of averages. I just do 12. So yes, I am sitting here live in Bowen, and I am literally just waiting for this launch, just like you guys are. So hopefully, with any luck, I'll get some more news that something will happen soon. However, the last update I had was in 19 minutes, the 8 a.m. this morning, which is 7:41 a.m. right now locally. That this will actually this will. Go. So yes, just a question. Yes, Junar. Yes, I am. I'm near. I'm not near Abbott Point. Abbott Point's. I can see it from where I am. However, it's off in the distance, directly behind this camera, which is why I'm pointing at it. And that exposure is really horrible. I'm going to have to fix that. All right. And so yeah. So the yeah, it's near Abbott Point. So the launch site is actually near Abbott Point. So that's the coal terminal, which is out, which you can see out there. It extends a little bit. I think it's about 2-3 kilometers out into the ocean for ships to come in to load coal in and off to load coal. Which is one of the main exports that Australia has, and more importantly, one of the main exports that Queensland has. And there, believe it or not, there's another coal terminal that's down a little way, down south of Mackay, about 40 kilometres south of Mackay, called Hay Point. Hay Point is the other major coal terminal that exists inside Queensland. So there's two. There's probably another one that I'm forgetting, but yes, Abbott Point is not very far. It's a quite a long terminal that's out there, and that's literally for loading coal ships for our main export. All right, let's just have a look. All right, just waiting here. I see some side venting right now. All right, there's some stats for you. So, cumulus granatus, probably said that wrong. I apologise. Bowen Spaceport is 12.59 kilometres to the northwest of Bowen Airport on a heading of 302 degrees, if you want to look for it, with Google Earth or Google Maps. So yeah, if anybody wants to be a little bit of a nerd, they can go and have a look at that themselves. So all right, just keep that in mind. Now, just having a look at this rocket. was some venting that was there. So they were obviously doing prop load. We'll just need to find out exactly what's happening. So I'll come back to you in just a minute. Okay, we are at the 10-minute mark. All right. Again, there's clearly before school because there's a lot more school kids here. So, yeah, all right, we're at the 10-minute mark. I've just got to work out how I'm going to pan and tilt this camera. So, just give me a minute. Right. Okay. So I'm preparing to track the rocket. This will be done manually. So what I'll do first is just to guide you through a few interesting things that'll happen on my side. I'll have to unlock the camera, obviously, and then I'll be tracking manually. So there'll be a fair few things that'll happen. And what I'll do is I'll also possibly pan out as well. So that zoom out, so that way I can actually get more of the rocket as it leaves. So it should be good. So a couple of things we need to watch out for is when the rocket ignites, the first thing you'll see is possibly a cloud of steam around the base. And that'll be the first thing you'll see. We won't actually hear any sound for about 5 to 7 seconds because we're about 12 kilometers away, 12.53 kilometers away. Someone wants to check my math on the speed of sound, they can, and let me know and update me. But yeah, look, at the moment, what I'm doing is standing off to one side, getting ready for T0. So yeah, so we'll see the cloud of steam will be the first thing. Then hopefully not long after that, we'll get so 5 to 7 seconds, we'll get the sound. The sound will come through. After that point, the rocket should lift once the sound starts hitting, because the engines need to be up and firing and at the correct thrust level. Once it's at the correct thrust level, the rocket will release, or it will be released. That means the rocket will take off. So it'll all happen in very quick succession. All going well, rocket will leave the pad and will start making its way to orbit, and then basically there's excitement guaranteed from that point onwards. So it could last as long as 30 seconds, which has been publicly stated by Adam Gilmour. It could last longer than that, and it could mean it could actually reach orbit. But once it's released and it's free, then basically it's up to the internal guidance computers and the flight controls to actually determine whether or not the rocket's on course, whether or not the rocket needs to be terminated. So again, as I said, everything will happen all at once. However, I'm here to grab it all, and hopefully we'll get the whole lot all at once. So the rocket has disappeared from screen at the moment a little bit, still sitting there, still there, and it's just not sitting in the sunshine at the moment because it's actually still quite an overcast day in Bowen at the moment. There is a bit of high-level cloud cover, and that won't interfere with the rocket launch at all. It's just the upper level winds that are actually at the 4 to 5 kilometer mark that was stated yesterday. That could be that could be detrimental to the health of the rocket. Again, if the winds are too high at that level, it's the equivalent of the rocket being hit with a sledgehammer, so which could actually push it off course. So we're coming down to T minus 5 minutes, and it should be all systems go. As far as we understand, we have seen venting. So things to recap on what's happened at the moment. We have seen venting. So that's basically when they load some of the cold fuels on board. When they load it, it goes into a warm tank. As the tank fills up, it gets warmed. It will actually bleed off some of those gases. So you'll see that there's a white cloud when it condenses in the atmosphere because it's colder than it's colder than the atmosphere, surrounding atmosphere, and so the moisture gathers around that when it gets vented. Once that stops venting, that means they're pressing for flight, which means that they're very much closer to T0. So at the moment, we're just waiting and hoping that something will happen today, because I was here yesterday, did try this yesterday, but we'll see how we go today. Okay, we are T-minus 2 minutes. All right. So this is what we've heard. This is what I've just heard, is that it might be pushed out a little bit by another half an hour or so. But that is, I don't know if that's a rumor or what that is. But at the moment, I'm not taking the camera off the rocket, just simply because, and I'm not putting myself on camera simply because, I don't want to miss this, just in case they have a launch at 8 a.m. which is at T0, is what we're currently expecting at the moment. All right. Let's see if anything happens. Apparently the sound will arrive 36 seconds later. Not what I said. So thank you very much to the people up here who were helping me out when doing calculations and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, there's actually quite a gathering here this morning. Around about 50 to 100 people. So yeah, it's grown quite substantially rather than the 4 nerds that were standing up here to begin with. All right. All right, looking like it's a 20-minute delay from here. So yeah, 20-minute delay is looking like what's happened. I've just received an update that it looks like it's another 20 minutes out. So 8:20 this morning is what we're looking at. So time for me to stand down a little bit. Overexcited. I was really hoping it would happen right then, but yeah, that's right. I'm excited. I'm really pumped for Gilmour Space Technologies and their team. I'm really hoping that this is successful. I understand that with rocket delays, there's always delays. It's part of rocketry. This literally is rocket science. So all props to them and the team and everybody I've met at Gilmour Space. So yeah, acknowledgement to all of those guys. That they're doing a magnificent job. I know this seems frustrating. It's frustrating for people here to not see anything. I know it's must be frustrating for the employees as well. So, guys, props to you, the Gilmour Space team. You're doing an excellent job to try and even getting it this far, this close. It's looking like today might be the day. It's just a little bit delayed. So there's nothing wrong with the delay, and delays are better than booms. So in my opinion, but however, it's an exciting time regardless. Alrighty, so it looks like it's going to be 8:20 now. I've been told. So yes, it's I've had that confirmed. Oh, yes. Sorry, I got to take my mobile phone out of my pocket because I don't want to crush my mobile phone. So yes, again, look at the beautiful view of that rocket that's just standing there. It's now highlighted by the sun in the background. It's a bit dark at the moment in the foreground, but yeah, in the background there is the sun is coming out and actually starting to highlight the rocket. You can see it quite nicely. It's looking really, really good. So again, once more, this is being brought to you by our main sponsor, which is One Giant Leap Australia Foundation. Those guys are actually magnificent. They've helped me to get up here once more, helping me cover costs and things like that to help bring this live stream to you. Again, once more, thank you very much to launchheaven Media for helping to restream this and spread the good word right across further around the globe. So appreciate you guys. And Astro Animator VFX, thanks, mate. You are doing a really good job getting this out to the Brazilian audience. I appreciate all your efforts. And the Launchpad Media. So you guys, hopefully we get to work together a little bit more closely in the future. But yeah, we'll chat more after this. Chat more after this live stream and whether or not something happens or it doesn't happen. But yeah, we'll see how we go. So all right. Just having a look around here. I'm just going to have a look at some more questions and answers and all that sort of stuff to see what's going on. All right. Let's have a look. All right. So every time I turn onto the chat, it takes a little while to load because Starlink prioritizes the live stream over the chats, which is fine. I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, every time I call up the chat, then basically, it takes a little bit for it to update. So how do we buy you a coffee? I'm not sure. Oh, look, I've got a Patreon page, so patreon.com /AussieNord. That's my Patreon page. There, you can subscribe if you wish. You can just do that. That's probably one of the ways to actually, one of the better ways to actually support me, I guess. You can go into sponsorship with me if you like, and you can reach out and support me by sponsoring me, cameras or equipment or anything like that, obviously to help me live stream a little bit better. But again, at 12.53 kilometers away, I don't think I'm going to really get much better view than this. But however, if there's a camera nerd out there who knows a particular unit or something that I should go and get myself, then I'll go and get it. It's because I'm at that point now where I need to go and invest in some newer equipment. All right, let's have a look. So that's launchheaven. That's launchheaven Media. That's from their chat. So and they've got a question at the moment from 12 minutes ago. Will Eris make it to Miko? Just remember to vote on that one and determine whether or not it'll actually, if you think whether or not it will actually get to Miko. So that's main engine cutoff. Not sure if it will make that, but anyway, that's all right. Let's have a look here around. All right. Oh, there we go. There's the statistic that was up before. All right. Can't see any. Is the AussieNord chat? Just having a look here. Okay. Do you think there's a strong chance that we get delayed again? Will I make it if I left the heli now? Muzzle Bear, I'm not sure, mate. Not sure at all. You've got 12 minutes. You think you can do early to Bowen in 12? All right. If you can, great, because you might need to lend your technology to Gilmour Space because, yeah, that's hypersonic. That'd be a massive win if you could do it in 12 minutes, mate. Yeah, I just thought I'd highlight that. That was pretty funny. All right. Yes, there is humidity and such a distance. You probably can't get anything clearer, maybe a more stable mount. Yeah, look, I actually have some rocket tracking technology that I need to further develop. And at the moment, it's already been developed. What's needed now is metal 3D metal printing and all that sort of stuff. So yes, that has already been developed. It's very capital intensive. And again, as you know, I do this as a hobby. And One Giant Leap Australia Foundation is helping support this live stream. But yes, I actually have rocket tracking technology sitting at home. However, it needs some heavy upgrades. So the University of Technology Sydney, there were some students from there. Shout out to those guys if you're watching. Yeah, they really helped me, and they've got a rocket tracking system that works extremely well. What's lacking at the moment is capital for me to actually develop that into something that's usable. That's perfectly honest. That's exactly what I've. So yeah, if you want to go and support me on Patreon, I can go. I can then work out how I'm going to get that for the next live stream and the next rocket launch. Because again, I have done this before. I've done this previously. I did this last year in the middle of the Nullarbor plane for the high impulse launch through Southern Launch. That happened last year. That was in the middle of the in the Nullarbor plane at the Kunaba test range. That's something I've done before, and that was all manually tracked. And from that, because it was manually tracked, that's where the university, a mate of mine, reached out and said, you know, maybe some final year engineering students could help you out with some tracking technology, and they did. I've got it. I own it. However, the problem is that it's a very capital intensive exercise for me to do the necessary upgrades. All right. So everyone is tuning in apparently. Everyone is watching, and we're 10 minutes. So, do they plan to deploy the Vegemite? You know what? I don't know. All right, let's look at the hypothetical. So, providing the hypothetical works and that everything goes off flawlessly, yes, there could be a jar of Vegemite orbiting the Earth. I think it would still be attached to the third stage. I don't think they'd actually yeet it. Sorry, I've got to stop using that word. I don't think they'd eject it, so that way it would actually be independently orbiting. I think it would still be attached to the third stage, providing everything works out and they actually make that orbital velocity. But that's the thing, is that I'm not sure if that's within their plans or their plan structure. All right, we are 9 minutes out. I'm going to go back to manning the camera once more. Thank you very much for there's some very interesting questions. And yeah, I'm going to once more get ready, get excited, and hopefully we will be seeing a launch happen shortly. All right, we are approaching T minus 5 minutes. Once more, we're at that level. All right, I've been asked. Someone approached me and said, "Could you please do a shout out to Carol and Michael in the UK, watching from the UK?" Hey guys, thanks very much for tuning in to Aussie Nord and the live stream. All right, so we are at the 5 minute mark. Again, I'm standing next to the camera, so no, I'm not touching it. So that way you guys get a stable image. I've learnt my lesson from yesterday that don't touch until it's absolutely, absolutely necessary. So, okay, so 820 is what we've been told. The wind here, just locally at ground level, top of Mount Nut, is dropped. There is no perceptible wind that I can see. It looks like it might be a little bit clearer at ground level, at least. As to what that looks like in the upper levels, we don't know. So the 4 or 5 kilometer mark that Adam was mentioning yesterday, that's Adam Gilmour, the CEO of Gilmour Space Technologies. He was saying that at the 4 to 5 kilometer mark, that's up vertically, that it was where the weather balloon was going. It looked like it was those upper level winds were exceeding their parameters, or violating launch parameters. So again, I don't have access to that. There has been a weather balloon tracker that I was introduced to that it only posts, it's open source data, but it posts it well after the fact because, I need bit more reliable data. But at the moment, confidence is high, I would imagine, that this should go in a minute. No, not a minute. Sorry. In T minus 3 minutes. So unless, of course, I get another notification from someone who might be able to provide some further insight, I'm sure it will go in the next 3 minutes, providing everything works out in the right way. Otherwise, might get another notification that tells me that it's once again been scrubbed. Okay, I'm not seeing anything at the moment. The police are still here, which gives me a lot of confidence that something might happen. T minus 2 minutes. All right, I'm not seeing anything just yet. We are at T minus 45 seconds. All right. We're counting down. Okay, I might have to down the volume. If this thing starts to take off, then I'm going to have to, I'm gonna have to lower the volume. I might yell like a lot. All right. All right, we're past the T minus 0. So we're T0. So T minus 0, T0. So yeah, it looks like it might be a little bit delayed again. All of us are just waiting. Okay, it looks like it might be a possible hold. Not seeing any movement on the pad. And if this lasts much longer, I believe they might stand down for the day. All right, let's just wait, have a bit of patience, because even though it might have been that the clock has been reset, or the countdown timer has been reset, at the moment the rocket is now sitting again in shadow. There is now a sizable crowd up here as well, at the top of Mount Nut. There's at least 100 or more people. The police are still here, which also gives me a great level of confidence that something still might happen. But it looks like there might have been a bit of a delay. I'm not hearing anything. I haven't had any further notifications of something, if there's been any changes. Checking all my socials. Just a moment. Okay, so no further updates so far. I've checked all the social medias. I can't see anything else that's happening. I've also got people who are in part of my network who are checking as well, and trying to find out exactly what's going on at the moment. apparently I'm being drawn into doing shout outs. So this one is to being at Lad Studios. Yeah, at Lad Studios. So there you go. All right. Apparently, yeah, didn't. Yeah, all right. Apparently, big fan. So, all right. So, thanks, mate. Yeah, thank you very much for following along. I appreciate it. Yeah, and yeah, if you continue to, don't forget to continue to support me. You know, share this, all this sort of stuff. You know, get it all out there, all that sort of stuff. All right. So, I have received an update. So 8:33 is what I've been told. Whether or not that's correct or not correct, or yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So 8:33. Apparently, they're doing final checks, and it looks like it might go ahead at 8:33. But again, I'm not sure. Again, the police are still here, which gives me a lot of confidence that something is going to happen, because they left yesterday before it got called, and they basically one of the departing things they said on the way out was, "You'll find out," which is good. That was all. That gave me a lot of confidence. Anyway, all right. So 8:33 is looking like the new target time, and so we are less than 4 minutes. T-minus 4 minutes at this point. And to actually, before we get anything going, so we're going to see exactly what's going to happen here. Whether or not the rocket actually goes or not is another thing. Confidence should still be high. It is rocket science after all. And again, once more, I'm going to shout out to my sponsor, which is One Giant Leap Australia Foundation. Thank you very much, guys, for supporting me to be here, and Launchheaven Media. Thanks very much, guys, for helping to spread the good word across the globe. And Astro Animator VFX, thanks, mate. Once more for your getting my voice out and translated to a more Brazilian audience. So thanks very much there. Someone has said the strong back has moved. I'm not sure it's a strong back because I believe it's a tower. It's just a launch tower, and I don't think it's movable at all. I could be wrong. However, yeah, they do actually have a launch tower over there. I'm not sure if there's a strong back, but we'll see in less than 3 minutes. 2 minutes 20. All right, I'm going to get close to the camera once more, because if something happens, then I need to be able to capture it and maneuver the camera around. Again, as I said, I will zoom out, and then that will allow me to track the rocket a little bit better, I believe. Everything will happen fast once we get to T0. Okay, I've had confirmation that Strongback has been retracted. So it looks like we might be going. All right, excitement guaranteed, people. All right. I'll need to turn this down because I might start yelling. Once more, here we go. We're coming up on 1 minute 20, T-minus 1 minute 20. All right. Watch for the cloud. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nothing, unfortunately. All right. So 8:33 has blasted past. It is now 8:34. We'll probably get a new T minus soon. So it looks like the rocket is standing independently. Okay, we're going. We're going. We're going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. Oh, okay. It's hovering. It's hovering. It's hovering. It's hovering. It's gone. It's gone. Oh, no. It didn't go. There wasn't sufficient thrust to actually keep it up. It slid straight off the pad. There wasn't sufficient thrust. That tells me that's the thrust. There's the sound. There's the sound. Unfortunately, it went sideways. I believe that's the end of the Eris rocket. We have a cloud, and that's the end. So that tells me that the way the rocket reacted, there was insufficient thrust available for it to actually launch off the pad. It was enough for it to release, but it wasn't enough for it to actually get to orbit. So, yeah, so what we've got now is we've got the aftermath of a failed mission. Congratulations to Gilmour Space for the attempt. Congratulations to everyone for giving it a try. Look, it is a sad day at the moment. However, these things are... They are covered in sensors, like a lot of sensors. And basically what that means is that, that they'll get all that data and they will be able to analyze the data and find out exactly what went wrong, how it went wrong, and they'll find out exactly what to do better next time. So just to recap really quickly, the rocket went up slightly. There was insufficient thrust. It kind of wandered sideways. And what you can see now is the steam at the top there and the black. That black smoke is what is left of the rocket. So the rocket didn't actually work at all. It was good sounds though, good sounds. However, it has been an absolute failure. So unfortunately, it's one of those things. It has a failure. They'll fail fast and fail forward. So what that means is they'll gather all the data, they'll take it all back, they'll analyze it. It may mean there's a slight delay for their next launch attempt, which could be anywhere between the end of this year and the end of next year. There's a lot of data that they need to get through to actually make sure that they've done the right thing. There will also be an investigation into this as well, because the Civil Aviation and Safety Authority, or CASA, will know. Oh, there was a boom. That's the rocket exploding. It blew up. Yep, it blew up. There is your proof that it blew up. So the question was, did it blow up? Yes, it did. It absolutely blew up. There it is. And that's the end of that. That's such a shame. Oh, exciting for a minute. For a minute, that was really exciting. That was really exciting. I really thought that was going to go. Yep, that boom was the end of the rocket. So hopefully it hasn't actually taken out their infrastructure that's over there, their vertical, horizontal mounting facilities, all that sort of stuff, or horizontal integration facilities. Yes, but that is the end of the Eris rocket. So first attempt of an all Australian-made rocket, and unfortunately it has ended in a bit of an explosion. So yes, there was definitely a boom that happened, and that is the result of all the propellant that's actually now burning off. Luckily, all the space crew are all safely away from this, at least a couple of kilometers away, and they would be completely safe. So it's a moment of actually picking through exactly what happened, and then figuring out how to improve for next time for the next launch. My estimation would be that they won't be launching until at least next year. So that's the end of the Eris rocket. The test flight 1, unfortunately, was a explosion at the end. All right. This is the end result. Just recap for everyone who has just tuned in. So if you've just tuned in now, the Eris test flight 1 did actually try to attempt to launch. Unfortunately, it appeared it did not have enough thrust. It had enough thrust to be released. However, it didn't have enough thrust to continue. Despite all the tests in the world with horizontal testing for their engines and the hybrid rocket engines, it didn't have enough thrust to actually take it any higher than what looked to be about 50 to 100 meters. Unfortunately, the Eris has now been destroyed. There was a significant boom that happened afterwards. I believe that was the end of the rocket, that significant boom. So I don't believe there would be much of a rocket left. So what you're seeing here is all those clouds. Is what is left of is all the gases now venting out from whatever's left of the rocket. So it'll either be outgassing or just it's now bleeding off into space, bleeding off into the atmosphere. A really unfortunate set of circumstances. However, Gilmour Space Technologies will learn from this. They'll fail fast and fail forward. They will learn absolutely everything they can from this. So for the next one, the next launch attempt, what will happen is with another rocket, another new rocket. What will happen is they'll learn from this mistake or learn from this event, and what they'll do is they'll be able to improve it for the next launch. What I'm mainly concerned about at this point is the Vegemite. I'm not. The Vegemite is gone. So the launch pad will in all the breakdown and everything like that. The launch pad will now smell lovely, like Vegemite. But anyway, that's all right. So the crowd here is now departing. I'm going to stick with it for the next few minutes. I'll get back on in some series of questions. It looked like there were the thrust vector, the vernier thrusting wasn't working either to actually control it. But again, it was actually sliding sideways, which said to me that one, the vernier thrust wasn't working correctly. Two, it also said to me as well that there was insufficient thrust available for it to actually lift itself, which is why it gave that odd, awkward sideways sideways movement. All right, so I'm just going to stick with these launch footage at the moment, or what's left of the rocket. So I'm going to pan out a little bit, so that way you can get a bit of a sense of what it looks like, and then we'll come back in again to show what it looks like currently. So, yes, first time launch and first failure. So, congratulations to the guys at Gilmour Space Technologies. If you're listening, if you're watching my live stream, it happens. It's literally rocket science. You guys are doing rocket science. You will learn from this, and whilst it feels devastating right now, and I'm disappointed, I'm not disappointed. The boom was kind of fantastic. It kind of hit your chest really well. It was amazing. Yeah. So at the moment, yeah, it feels like a failure. It is. However, you guys know that you will learn from this and you will fix it and you will make sure that it doesn't happen for the next launch, because you have so much more to give from this point onwards. All right, so I'm just going to leave this view at the moment, leave you guys for a second because I'm starting to go hoarse. I need a drink of water, and then I'll come on and we'll do some questions and answers. Okay, guys, just to let you know, I'm still here. I'm still streaming for the moment. I haven't ended the live stream. I will do soon. Just at the moment, what's happening in the background is I've just got some additional footage. I'm not going to be able to display it now. I will be able to display it at a later time. And yeah, so there is some additional footage that I'll be able to share with you guys, but not for another 72 hours at least, just because there's a restriction on that particular footage. All right, so there is more footage. I'm going to have another live stream soon that will actually, in the next 72 hours or so, where I actually have some really exclusive in-depth footage that we'll be able to go through and have a good look at exactly what happened with the Eris test flight 1. So just at the moment, what's happening is I'll get into the questions and answers in just a second. At the moment, everyone here has departed. I'm the only one sitting on the hill at the moment. Well, there's three of us, but anyway. And everyone else has departed because because of the end result of the Eris test flight 1. Which was it ended in failure. So that grass fire that you can see there, that black smoke is what is left of the rocket. So they'll need to wait until it's all safed, the area is safed before they can go in and begin investigations of exactly what happened. Again, what a wonderful day for the Australian space industry. Yes, yes, it was a failure. However, we are a lot closer than we were before. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Gilmour Space Technologies will continue to fail fast, fail forward, and learn from their mistakes for their next Eris mission.
Yep. Support tower. It's called. It's launching.
It's launching.
Okay, we're going. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh, it's launching.
It's going. It's going. It's going.
That's amazing. It's falling. Yeah.
Oh, that's behind.
Oh, okay. It's hovering. It's hovering. It's hovering. It's hovering.
It's going down.
Gone.
Woo!
It's gone.
What happened? It blew up.
Oh, it didn't go. It didn't go. There wasn't sufficient thrust to actually keep it up. It just slid straight off the pad.
That's cool.
Yeah, look at it.
There wasn't sufficient thrust. That's all.
And it exploded.
Oh.
Yeah, it exploded.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. Just a minute. All right, let's get me on camera. Faded, but anyway, the sun's coming up. That little black smoke there, that's what's left of the Eris test flight 1. Yeah, it's now more or less a. They've got to wait for extinguish. They've got to extinguish all the fires, put it all out, and you've got to put it all out and make sure that's all safe, and make sure that everything's okay for people to move in and to start investigating. All right, so next, I love the idea of Australian space. Best of luck next time you try. Yeah, thanks very much for that. Yatsata. So yeah, thank you very much for that. It's a good idea to actually have Australian space. It's good, and the Australian space industry is where Aussie are born. All right, as we all know. So yeah, so at the moment, for anyone else who is still hanging around, yes, there was. Thank you very much for the first orbital launch coverage, semi-orbital. Yeah, so. Yeah, not to nitpick, but watch the stable camera around 2 hours. Yeah, I understand. The camera moved around and couldn't see. Yeah, I understand. But yeah, there's something else that's in the background. I do have additional footage now that I will be able to share with everyone in the next 72 hours or so. And it is very, very interesting. Someone here has shared their footage with me, and very much I'm very appreciative that he's done that for me, and I'll get into an in-depth on a live stream, probably be myself and Brian Lim if he's available in the next 72 hours or so, before I depart Bowen. All right. So yes, unfortunately, the Eris test flight 1 was a bit of a failure. The rocket seemed to have gone up and then come back. So yes, there was. Yes, I was. If anybody was paying attention, yes, I was watching a bit of a replay that was there, just to see exactly what was going on. And yes, there are. It's going to be very, very interesting when I get into that live stream to actually show you this additional footage, and I'll bring that all to you guys in the next 72 hours or so. The last thing to do here is actually wrap up this live stream. So thank you very much for everyone who is tuned in for this live stream. Thank you very much for coming on board. I do appreciate it. Thanks very much for tuning in and remaining with me. This is for the second day that this has actually happened. So thank you very much. I appreciate you for coming back and returning. Just remember to like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. And for the legacy media in Australia, please credit me. Please credit Aussie Naut for any of the footage that you decide to reuse. So that's for the Australian legacy media. All right, so thank you very much. It's been a very eventful day, very exciting. Excitement was guaranteed. Excitement did happen. The rocket went up and went sideways, and then just went, no, not today, and went back to bed. And did so in a very dramatic way, exploding as it went back to bed and said, no, not today, guys. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like space. I just feel like going back to bed. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to make a bit of a joke, so I apologize for that. My sense of humor is big dad. It gives off big dad energy, apparently. All right, so thank you very much, you guys, once more for joining me. Thank you very much for One Giant Leap Australia Foundation for for sponsoring me to be up here to bring this all to you guys. Thank you very much to Launch Heaven Media for actually helping to support to bring the good word to the rest of the world, and also Astro Animator VFX for getting this to the Brazilian audience. Even though it was a bit of a failure, it was a successful failure. As in, there's a lot to learn from this, and Gilmour Space will be back, I am sure. And also at the same time. Just to let everyone know, if Gilmour Space tries again, I'll be here. Because, yeah, I have nothing better to do. No, I'll be here because I love this sort of stuff, and hopefully you'll be able to join me again as well. So, all right, thank you very much, guys, for joining me for this particular live stream. And as always, remember, stay